Dear students, I, Mr. Vishal Shah, Assistant Professor, Krishna Institute of Pharmacy, Karad, once again welcome you all to this my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about the fats and oils. In that, we are going to discuss about the analytical constants of fats and oils. In previous video, we have started with the determination of saponification value. In that video, we have in detail discussed what is the meaning of saponification value, what is the difference between the saponification value and acid value. Also, we have seen what is the principle involved in the determination of the saponification value. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss about the which are the different unsaponifiable matters that are present and what is the role of these unsaponifiable matters that are present in the fats and oils. So, if you have not watched my previous video, you can watch that previous video so that you can understand these videos. And if you like the content of this video, you can share with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, let's begin with our today's session. Before that, just we will see what are the learning outcomes of this session. After this session, students will be able to explain analytical constants used for determination of various oil constants. Now, determination of saponification value. In that case, as I said, we have in detail seen about the principle involved in the determination of saponification value. In that significance, I have told you that saponification value is used to check different adulterations, and sometimes these adulterations are present in the form of the unsaponifiable matters along with the different oils or fats which are having the either lower saponification value or the higher saponification value. Now, what is the meaning of unsaponifiables or unsaponifiable materials? Unsaponifiable materials are the components of fatty substances. These are the components of either oils, fats or waxes that fail to form the soaps when they are treated with the alkali and remain insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. So, when the manufacturing of soap is carried out, these unsaponifiable matters, if they are present, they does not react with our different alkalis that are used and they are not forming the soaps, and due to which there will be these matters that are remaining as it is in that particular our solution. So, that's why it is necessary to determine the quantities of these unsaponifiable matters which indicates whether soaps that are formed are clear or not. For instance, or for example, typical soybean oil contains about 1.5 to 2.5% by weight of the unsaponifiable matter. So, these unsaponifiable matters that are present, they are not able to react with the alkali and they will remain as it is in that particular solution. Now, unsaponifiable matter include non-volatile components like alkanes, steroids, triterpenes, fatty alcohols, tocopherols, carotenoids, as well as those that mainly result from the saponification of the fatty esters like sterol esters, wax esters or the tocopherol ester. So, these are the various non-volatile components that are present in the unsaponifiable matter. This fraction may also contain the environmental contaminants and residues of plasticizers, pesticides, mineral oil or hydrocarbons and the aromatic acids. Sometimes small quantities of the unsaponifiable matters are kept as it is because due to the presence of these unsaponifiable matters, properties of soap can be modified. like some of these components may be acting as a moisturizing, so they will give us a moisturizing effect on the soap. So these unsaponifiable matters should not exceed 3%, otherwise they are not suitable for the manufacturing of this soap. So these are the various requirements that we have to check in the manufacturing of the soaps. That's why it is important to determine the saponification value of that fat and oil before the carrying out the manufacturing of that particular soaps. Now, after completion of the saponification value, next oil constant that we are going to discuss is a determination of the acetyl value. Acetyl value is also another important oil constant that is used for determination of the fats and oils. Now first we will see what is the meaning of acetyl value. Acetyl value is defined as number of milligrams of potassium hydroxide required to neutralize the acetic acid liberated by hydrolysis of 1 gram of acetylated substance. Now here this value is quite different. Another similar thing between acid value, saponification value and acetyl value is milligrams of potassium hydroxide that is required. Means here also we require the milligrams of potassium hydroxide that is required to neutralize the acetic acid. Now how this acetic acid is generated? First what we are going to do, whatever fat or oil samples are there, these are acetylated. Due to the acetylation of these fats and oils, they will be converted into the acetylated substances, and these acetylated substances are reacted with the potassium hydroxide. So due to the hydrolysis of these acetylated substances, there will be formation of acetic acid will takes place, and this acetic acid that is liberated will react with the potassium hydroxide, and that will be neutralized. Acetyl value is the measure of presence of free alcohol in the sample. Now we know that the triglycerides, for example esters, they are consisting of the free acids which are determined with the help of the acid value. Along with these free fatty acids, these fats and oils are also consisting of glycerol as a free component. We know glycerol is a trihydric alcohol that is present. So determination of acetyl value will give us idea about the whatever the free alcohols that are present in the given fat or oil sample. First, whatever these free alcohols are there, they are either reacted with the acetic anhydride or acetyl chloride, which leads into the formation of acetylated substance, and when they are reacted with the potassium hydroxide, they are first hydrolyzed, and due to hydrolysis they will be converted into the acetic acid, or the acetic acid is liberated. Amount of acetic acid that is liberated will be in the equivalent amount as the amount of alcohol that is present. 1 mole of alcohol will liberate 1 mole of acetic acid. So in this way, by determining the quantity of acetic acid that is present, we can determine the amount of alcohol, free alcohol that is present in our sample. In determining the acetyl value, first the sample is acetylated as I said, and the acetylated product is separated, and saponification value of this acetylated product is then determined. The saponification value of original sample is also determined. So here what we are going to do, there are actually two ways by which we can determine the acetyl value. First, what we are going to do, saponificate whatever the acetylated product is there, that acetylated product is separated, and saponification value of this acetylated product is determined. Means acetylated product is hydrolyzed with the help of the potassium hydroxide. Then due to the hydrolysis, the acetic acid will be liberated along with the free fatty acids or the combined acids that are present in their fat and oil sample. Then saponification value of original sample is also determined, and the difference between these two values will give us an idea about the amount of potassium hydroxide that is required to neutralize the acetic acid that is liberated. Then we will see what is the procedure involved in the determination of the acetyl value. Take 10 gram of sample and 20 ml of acetic anhydride in a round bottom flask that is attached with the reflux condenser. As I said, we are going to use acetic anhydride for the purpose of acetylation of our sample. Then allow to cool the solution and pour into 600 ml of distilled water. Then add 0.2 gram of pumice powder and boil for the 30 minutes. Then cool the solution and transfer to a separator and discard the lower layer. Wash the acetylated product with 50 ml of warmed saturated solution of sodium chloride until the washings are no longer acidic to the litmus paper. Finally, shake with 20 ml of warm water and remove the aqueous layer as completely as possible. Then pour the acetylated substance into small dish and add 1 gram of powdered anhydrous sodium sulfide, stir thoroughly and filter, and then determine the saponification value of the acetylated substance. Means by using this particular point, we are going to carry out the separation of our acetylated substance with the help of the addition of warm water as well as the sodium chloride. So this is the procedure that is used for the determination of the acid. So now we will see what is the formula that is used for the determination of the acetyl value. Acetyl value is determined by using the formula 1335 into B minus A divided by 1335 minus A, where A is equal to saponification value of the substance and B is equal to saponification value of the acetylated substance. So by getting the difference between the saponification value of acetylated substance and the saponification value of our original substance, we can determine amount of potassium hydroxide that is required to react with the KOH. So in this way we can determine the acetyl value. So here we have completed with the another analytical constant, that is the acetyl value as well as the saponification value. If you have any queries related to the pharmaceutical organic chemistry, you can contact me on this particular email ID shahavishalv99@gmail.com. If you like the content of this video, then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as you can share with your friends. Thank you very much.